Duel Review is brought to you by NexusDigitalComics.com.
This week on Duel Review, GoldenEye Reloaded, followed by Darker Than Black.
We take a look at the good, the bad, the weird, and we start off the week with Civil War, the Marvel event. I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it.
Welcome to Monday the 12th of March. We are doing the Marvel event, Civil War.
That's right, 2006 and 2007. It's really the last great Marvel event, and that's why we want to talk about it. It's Mark Millar and Steve McNiven. Millar won the Stanley Award, and he's known for he's worked on Wanted and other stuff too. But he's worked on tons of Marvel stuff. It's really not even whatever you name it, he's worked on it. It is available on Marvel Digital subscription, so if you have that, then have at it. I think most of them are on there. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the X-Men versus Avengers, and that's kind of why we were talking about this. This is really the last one we could think of that was a really great event.
Yeah, game changer. Thank you.
Most of you guys are going to know about this, especially if you're watching a review on comics, but you know what? It's still worth mentioning. It was so great.
Yes,
and a lot of great things came from it. Right off the bat, though, I'm going to say that Nick and I both have not read everything Civil War, though.
Because there's Fantastic Four, Civil War.
Well, there's everything Civil War. There's every character Civil War. So it is kind of frustrating that they just can't just make it a little bit more easy to follow and figure out what you need to read.
Accessible.
Yes, good term. But anyway, Civil War was amazing and really warrants mentioning. So Civil War happened kind of in the wake of 9/11. It was sort of a response to that, although it's not as transparent, so it's not really tied to that time. It's just, I know the writer...
I didn't even make that correlation.
Yeah, Mark Millar, the writer, does do a nod to that.
Correlation.
Correlation. Throwback.
Yeah.
Long time throwback.
Yeah, well, that was when we first started.
People are like, what the hell is... Okay. Inside joke to the people that watched all our episodes. The 4 people that watched all of them. Okay, so anyway, all the writing is really pretty solid.
Yeah.
There's nothing that makes me, like, the writing is like, oh, that's so delicious, you know what I mean? Except for the actual premise. There's nothing that really was like, because every once in a while Bendis comes up with something that I'm just like, ooh, that's so awesome. But
I don't know. I thought there was some very interesting things. The deal with the Fantastic Four was in there.
I'm not knocking it at all. Okay, well, the Fantastic Four. So Civil War is basically just kind of pick your side.
Right.
It's a split in the Marvel universe.
Right. To throw down. I mean, to show up the original plot. Basically, what happens is this young group of heroes is trying to make their break. They're doing it. Reality television style. Someone's got a camera and they're following them around, and they go to, I guess, interrupt the inner workings of a criminal organization that they were not powerful enough to stop, and ended up blowing up a
cannonball. He goes.
They blew up a school, right?
Right.
A lot of people were injured. I believe it was a school. A lot of children, and in retaliation,
in the wake of it,
the government said, okay, all superpowered humans have to be registered.
Right. And so you get this interesting thing where you get like Captain America who is, the poster boy for America or whatever.
Yeah, in the government.
But he is opposed to this.
Yes.
And then Iron Man just thinks that it's simpler and must be done, and so he's on the other side. So you get these two, members of the Avengers, longtime friends, whatever, on opposite sides, and then the camps kind of start delineating. So you get the thing where, like, of course he'd be on that side. But then there's also a few that are like, what, really? Like, he's on that side,
Right.
And then there's like Punisher, who kind of stays out of it, but he actually is a big catalyst.
That was a great.
And then there's like the Fantastic Four that he mentioned that don't divide evenly or all together. Like Reed Richards is on one side, and the Thing's kind of in the middle, and the other
Susan's on the other side. Yeah,
Susan and Storm. Storms. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get this really interesting stuff.
We should mention Spider-Man too, by the way.
Yeah, Spider-Man is actually a really interesting one because he flops sides and eventually is outed.
Yes, he shows off his identity, which is something that he's always fought with from the very beginning. I don't want to give away my identity because I don't want to hurt the people I love, which was the biggest argument in all of comics, I think. Why do they need these secret identities? Because the enemies will attack their loved ones.
Right, right.
So,
And it makes them much more vulnerable, yes, and it also brings harm to those that know them. So it really makes superheroes more of an outcast, really, because whatever. So yeah, that's kind of what they're arguing that everybody needs to do, Spider-Man does, and so that very interestingly illustrates why like Captain America and his team are correct in not just saying, okay, we need to do. I'm kind of anti-government a little bit. I'd rather have smaller government and that sort of thing. And so it's kind of like,
anarchy.
When we all have to, no, I'm not. I have no problem with policemen protecting us, but I don't want to be told that I have to get medical care here.
Right.
Or
My position is these are heroes. This is what separates heroes from people who just want attention. Want like Phoenix Jones.
So then you're Captain America as well?
I'm definitely Captain America.
Definitely Captain America's side. Although I do understand the argument for the other, it just doesn't make up for that. Because you're basically taking the power away from them. And it's just like privatizing things. Like, I'm for that. So it's interesting parallels. And it's one of those things that you're going to read and feel differently. Like, you'll attach it to somebody else. But the best art, I think, does that. It speaks to everybody on a different level.
Yeah.
So it's a really, really solidly written thing. My only complaint is that it does branch off like everything else that Marvel does, which is just kind of one of those things. Like, it's great that you have more to read. It's more like there's a Deadpool one and a Spider-Man one, and you just keep going and going. But it's just really hard to contain it. And if you're like us, and we really like to own a story, like a complete thing.
That is a good way of saying it.
It's really hard to do that.
When you have to own this one and this one and this one and this one.
Yeah, and it's not like zombies where they just like do a completely different camp. It's like all the same characters, and you're not sure what's going to be overlapping and how much story is in this.
What you're going to miss.
So there's still stuff we haven't read, but it is the strongest event that I can think of in any recent history.
The only thing is,
video game was awesome, I thought. Did you like the Marvel Ultimate 2 or whatever?
Ultimate Alliance?
2, yeah.
Yeah, Ultimate Alliance. I don't think I played Ultimate Alliance 2.
I love that. I love that game. And you come across like the Thing, who is not sure, and of course he sides with the side that you're on, kind of thing, because you can choose either side. But being right plopped in the middle of that, and that was the same time I was actually reading it, which was a little bit late, but that was the same time I was reading it, and it was just awesome. So I highly recommend that game too, actually. It has a lot of fun Marvel trivia as well. Maybe we'll review those games at some point, but can't wait for the next one.
Civil War.
Yeah, Civil War. Well, that game ties directly to Civil War. That's what it is. It's Civil War.
I was really hoping that Civil War would have lasting effects throughout the universe, but it just kind of dissipates. You don't really hear much about it anymore. You know, it's like nothing is affected by the events of the Civil War.
Right.
Other than Goliath was killed off, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
And they brought back that Thor clone.
Yeah. It's one of those things that I'm not sure how they run things. I don't know if they have to be like, okay, well, we only have a couple more months, and then we're going to do zombies, or the next event. So like wrap it up and get it back to sitcom state, where it's all neatly wrapped up. And we just start over again. I was mentioning to you that the New 52, we've been talking about that a lot. They said it was going to be a fresh start and everything's going to be new, and you're not going to whatever. Totally not that. What they should have done is something like this, where they did a Civil War, they did a big event where no longer the Avengers are the Avengers. Now they're split, and there's two different teams, so there's something, there's some other
So what
team.
you're saying is, rather than start fresh, you would have
They didn't start fresh, first of all.
Very true, you're right.
But I would have liked to see, a couple of the heroes that we know on the other side now, like the Huntress or something. She'd be a perfect villain, you know what I mean? Like, she already is kind of tendency. They could have taken a license to totally shake things up and really say, the past is the past, and now these characters that you love. And I understand that there would be tons of, Green Lantern's my favorite, now he's a villain, I hate you, kind of thing.
I don't think you can make Green Lantern a villain.
I could.
Well, no, because he's kind of devoted to a certain...
Anyway, it'd be really interesting if someday somebody capitalizes on this big event that now just completely changes the world permanently.
Yes.
That would be really fascinating.
But it's not safe, and I don't think they do it.
Yeah, the almighty dollar. I guess it's up to us, the next generation, to do something different.
Yeah.
You guys too. So.
Let's shake it up.
Let's shake it up. Anyway, Civil War, great series. Highly recommend it.
Absolutely. I remember having so many conversations with people about, like, what side would you take? Why would you do that? I don't understand what you're getting at, you know.
I don't know anybody that honestly took Iron Man's side, honestly.
My aunt did.
Really? Most people are like, yeah, I could see the wisdom in that, but, you know, screw that.
Well, the way she put it, or I think, because this was a while ago, I don't really remember her exact argument, but, you know, you have to register for a handgun, you know. But then again, you know, these people have these powers. It's not like they have a weapon.
Right,
they are.
But my biggest thing is, does it really make you that much safer to know? So he's still there. He's still got a gun. He can still shoot you.
Well, I think the more important part was cataloging the powers and figuring out ways to defunct them.
Well, I mean, how many people die because they're surprised that someone has a superpower? You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah, very true.
So, I mean, if it's used, then there's a risk.
But again, as long as they can catalog who has what power, they can figure out a way, like preemptive or fast strike.
That's another big thing. I mean, if you're in this world with superpowers, then you realize that everybody has a weakness, you know. So if you give your villains time to figure that out beforehand.
Oh yeah, that was a fun part where they in Civil War when they started using villains to catch the rebels. Remember that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That was pretty crazy.
Negative Zone and all that stuff. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's a big, you know, if you haven't by some stretch of the imagination encountered Civil War, go read it, and there's a lot of fun stuff.
Yes, and then if you like a certain character and you want to follow that, just read their offshoot. I think everyone has an offshoot.
And he would recommend.
Yeah, I liked Fantastic Four definitely, and Frontline was fun.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, that's Marvel Civil War. Thank you so much for watching.
Yep.
Follow us on YouTube and subscribe on YouTube. Pretty much.
If you're going to Emerald City Comic Con, which is definitely coming up very soon, please let me know. And when you get there, please buy his card game
and say hi.
And say hi. You know, we plan on giving away free stuff like shirts and stuff. So, yeah, definitely come by and say hi.
And leave comments and give us any recommendations.
I usually almost always answer comments.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Damn it.
I was too slow. I was doing like one of these things when you reach for your gun. I was
like, that Iron Man. I don't know what that schnicked.
Sweet.
I think we're fine. Coming up at GoldenEye Reloaded.
Dinosaurs versus aliens. It's funny, but there's a tag. There's a white tag.
I can crop it out. That'll be our test. Let's see if it works.
Clip my glasses. My hair is like sticking up and stuff.
That's bushy, right?
It's bushy.
What you wanted.
I'm bushy.
Mike!
How'd you get into frame?
Damn it, Mike. No more friends named Mike. They always get in frame.
How's that?
Awesome?
Awesome!
Yeah. Sorry, don't use adjectives with this one. Say it's okay.
My sister the other day, she's like, oh, it's so hot where I'm at. We have all the windows open. And I texted her back, windows!
Okay, now it's two. All right.
Yes.
I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it. One more time.
This week on Duel Review, we go with the big thing. Sorry.
Two more times.
Welcome to Monday the 12th of March. We're doing the Marvel event Civil War.
Again.
Because I stumbled.
Again.
Okay. Welcome to Monday the 12th of March. We're doing the Civil War event, which was Marvel.
Marvel's Civil War.
Marvel's event Civil War. Welcome to Monday the 12th of March. We are doing Civil War, the Marvel event.
That's right. 2006-2007. It is Mark Millar, AR, and Steve McNiven is the pen player. Niven.
Oh, that's what I said.
Not Niven.
McLovin.
Let's not make fun of Penn Play. So anyway, Mark Miller is known for, well, this, but lots of stuff. He recently, or not recently, won the
Eisner Award. The
Stanley Award.
Stanley Award.
Can't remember Stanley. Ridiculous. Let's do it again. Sorry. Let's just go.